Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Office Bloke Dennis.
I'm Office Bloke Mike.
And I'm Office Bloke Max.
All three of us today.
Hey, full house.
This is a why no military on Earth could survive invading the United States.
Ah.
Yeah, why any military in the world would want to try invading the United States.
Yeah, it's probably, well, it's the most powerful military in the world, isn't it?
I don't think it's just the military.
We're
We're going to start with Texas. What happened, lads? How come you didn't? Why are you back so early? Have you seen them people down
Why is
there?
there only three of them? Where's the rest of you?
Guns.
Let's get into it.
Yeah.
Picture every country as a medieval castle, complete with towering walls, secret traps, and all sorts of defenses to protect the crown. In this
do like
scenario,
that.
the United States stands out as the toughest castle in the world. So, when someone asks, what would it really take to invade the United States? It opens up a fascinating conversation about how geography, demographics, and military strength come together to make the US one of the hardest countries to invade in modern history. But to understand why invading America is so difficult, we need to start with what makes invasions successful in the first place. Military historians point to several key factors: the element of surprise, manageable supply lines, and crucially, the ability to establish a foothold and expand from there. It just so happens that America's unique geographic position eliminates almost every advantage that has made invasions in the past possible. Let's start with the most obvious barrier, the oceans. The United States sits between two of the world's largest bodies of water. The Atlantic Ocean stretches roughly 3,000 miles to Europe, while the Pacific spans an even more formidable 5,000 miles to Asia. But it's not just about distance, it's about what that distance means for a would-be invader. You see, modern naval warfare depends heavily on supply chains, fuel, and the ability to maintain communication across vast distances. Any naval force attempting to cross either ocean to invade America would be operating at the extreme limits of its logistical capabilities. Consider
I've never seen that.
The D
I've never seen that refueling on a vessel. Like
No,
I've not actually.
No.
Few wires across.
Yeah.
D-Day invasion, one of the most successful amphibious assaults in history, involved crossing just 100 miles of the English Channel. Roughly speaking, it required approximately 156,000 Allied troops, around 5,000 ships, and months of preparation, all supported by established bases in Britain. Now imagine scaling that operation across 3,000 to 5,000 miles of open ocean, with no friendly territory to stage from. The logistics behind such an invasion become even more daunting when you consider detection. Modern satellite surveillance, radar networks, and maritime patrol aircraft make it virtually impossible to
Ain't getting
move
anywhere
large
near, right?
naval
No.
forces without anybody noticing. Any invasion fleet would be spotted days, if not weeks, before reaching American shores, giving US forces more than enough time to prepare defensive positions. But what about launching an invasion from neighboring countries? After all, the United States shares borders with Canada and Mexico. Surely that creates vulnerability, right? Unfortunately for any invader, they're deeply integrated into American military and economic systems. Canada is a NATO member and one of America's closest security partners. Mexico, while not in NATO, has extensive military cooperation agreements with the US and depends heavily on American trade. For any hostile nation to use these countries as invasion routes, they would first need to conquer or coerce them. In other words, they would essentially have to launch two separate military campaigns before even reaching American territory. This would require force projections of unprecedented scale and would trigger immediate American response.
Do you reckon anyone would actually give it a go?
No.
At all? Like, even if countries, like, made a coalition and went for it?
It'd be pointless, I think.
Do you reckon it's just not
They'd see it
achievable?
coming a mile off, and the
Yeah,
military
so
force have
powerful.
got to they won't just defend themselves; they go after them.
It's not even that. It's the people that live there as well. It's I think you try and invade America and you look at all the people, the ex-military personnel,
Yeah.
already that are living there. The people who've got these, can't remember what the percentage of people who have guns are, but it's a lot, isn't it?
It's like
Yeah.
40%.
Something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
quite a lot,
Yeah,
yeah.
there's millions of guns there. And
Yeah.
but it's not even just that. It's just the terrain. So if you're coming down
Sure,
through like
yeah.
Canada and places like you've got the Rockies to deal with and all that kind of stuff, and
Nevada.
different mountain ranges to different parts of the country.
Yeah, like Max says, all the heat in the south, like Nevada and California
Yeah,
and stuff like
yeah.
that. Where it's,
You just got mad terrain, and it's the amount of like military equipment that you'd need to be put on the ground,
And
even
manpower
and
would be
all that.
absolutely
Just,
phenomenal,
it'd be
wouldn't it?
Whoever did it, just be sitting ducks.
Oh, yeah.
I think the only way you can do it is just the only realistic way of doing it is either like
Wiping them
either nuclear,
Yeah.
or some kind of like disablement of like taking out systems
of the infrastructure.
Yeah,
I guess so.
shutting
Yeah.
down infrastructure,
Taking
and all that kind of
EMPs
stuff.
out and things like
Taking
that.
everything
Yeah.
out, sort of
Yeah.
thing, and then trying to sort of like infiltrate it.
But
Even then, I can't see it working.
Even then, US fight fire with fire. They'd be doing exactly the same to the other people.
yeah.
They'd know what was coming, and
They know before they even
be well on top.
They'll
of
know
it
it before someone even thought about it.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? They'll be
true.
that far ahead of it.
Even though it's probably virtually impossible, they'll still have plans in place
Yeah.
in the event that someone was stupid enough to do it. You know, they're not
Oh,
just going to
100%,
think.
yeah.
They're not just going to sit back and go, "Oh, now we won't." It's
no
fine.
one's gonna bother
Don't
us,
worry
yeah.
about our planet.
Give them
We'll be
Florida.
fine.
It's fine.
They'll
You
be
can
all.
have that.
Obviously, they'll be all over any eventuality.
Yeah, true.
They'd
It'd
be
be
all
like,
over
like
it.
a spider trying to sort of like invade a honey badger's nest. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And sort of like we're going after this honey badger, one spider.
Yeah, on my own.
You might get, you might get one, but that's a very lucky win.
exactly.
You ain't getting two.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's imagine, hypothetically, that all of that somehow became possible. Even then, the geographic challenges are staggering. An invasion from the north would have to cross the Canadian Shield, a massive area of rocky terrain and forests, then navigate the Great Lakes region. The US military could easily cut supply lines by controlling key transportation hubs like Winnipeg or Thunder Bay, effectively isolating any northern advance. From the south, invaders would face a large concentration of American military power. Recent deployments have placed thousands of American troops along the Mexican border. Any large-scale military movement would once again be detected immediately, and the attacking force would have to advance through some of the most challenging terrain in North America, including the Sonoran and Chihuahuan deserts. But here's where America's defensive advantages become even more pronounced. Let's say the invading force somehow established a foothold on American soil. They would immediately confront what you could call a natural defensive line. The United States is essentially divided by a series of geographic barriers that would force any invading army to fight for every mile of advance. The Rocky Mountain chain runs like a spine through the western part of the country, creating natural choke points that favor America. The Mississippi River system divides the country into distinct regions, each requiring separate river crossings under fire. Military history shows us how devastating river crossings can be. During the Civil War, battles like Fredericksburg and Antietam demonstrated the enormous casualties that result from forced river crossings against prepared defenses. Now imagine attempting such crossings against modern military technology. Precision artillery, air support, and guided munitions, all directed by satellite surveillance and real-time intelligence. There is absolutely no shot of sustaining an invasion in this case. But perhaps America's most unique defensive advantage is its civilian population, specifically its relationship with firearms. The United States has the highest rate of civilian gun ownership in the world, with 120.5 firearms for every 100 civilians. To put that into perspective, Switzerland only has 27.58 firearms for every 100 civilians. This creates a scenario that military planners would probably call a strategic nightmare. It's one thing to defeat a conventional army. It's different to occupy a territory where a significant portion of the civilian population is armed and more than likely hostile. History provides sobering examples of what this looks like. The Soviets in Afghanistan, the Americans in Iraq, and various other occupations throughout the 20th century demonstrate that even the world's most powerful militaries struggle against determined civilian resistance. About 72% of American gun owners cite protection as their primary reason for ownership, suggesting a population already mentally prepared for defensive scenarios. Then there's the simple matter of scale. The United States covers approximately 3.7 million square miles, making it the third largest country in the world by land area. It is larger than Australia, which has an area of about 2.9 million square miles. The US is more than twice the size of the European Union, which covers around 1.7 million square miles. Additionally, the US is roughly comparable in size to the entire continent of Europe, which has an area of about 3.9 million square miles. The distances involved are shocking from a military perspective. The distance from Washington, D.C. to Los Angeles is about 2,700 miles. In order to sustain any kind of invasion on America, the occupying force would need to maintain supply lines across these vast distances, while facing constant harassment from both organized military resistance and civilian populations. Modern military thinking focuses on quick and decisive actions, because long campaigns can get really expensive and hard to manage. Given the vast size of the United States, pulling off a rapid takeover is pretty much impossible, and keeping troops in place for a long time would cost a fortune. Consider the economic cost for America.
Thing is as well, where would you feed from?
Yeah.
You know, where would you supply everything from?
Well,
You wouldn't be able,
yeah.
unless you were coming through Canada or Mexico.
You'd have to go
You'd have to
through
have your
Mexico.
bases there. But I mean,
Yeah.
obviously, these places in like Central America, then obviously places like Cuba or
Yeah.
some of the islands like that might be
Hawaii, other side, maybe.
But Hawaii's American.
Sure, you'd have to take it, wouldn't
Yeah,
you?
you'd have to conquer that first.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about where would you station all your supplies? It just
Exactly.
wouldn't work.
And still, again, logistically, it would be an absolute nightmare. Like I say, because of the size of the country, even just supplying troops and stuff like that. But it just wouldn't happen. I mean, and like I say, civilian population, they were getting people shooting at them all day long.
That's it.
You know,
I
the amount of people that
I
got
think you wouldn't
guns,
even need the military.
No,
I don't think you need the
I think
military.
I think they'd form their own little armies. Every single town in the country would do that, and it'd be like having a small American army in every single town, every single village.
Yeah.
So,
During the Iraq and Afghanistan campaigns, both campaigns involved far smaller territories and populations, but still cost the United States trillions of dollars over 2 decades. The scale required to occupy a territory the size of America would dwarf these figures by orders of magnitude. Of course, there's one last factor: nuclear weapons. The United States maintains one of the world's largest nuclear arsenals, and American nuclear doctrine makes it clear that existential threats to the homeland would likely trigger nuclear response. This creates what is also known as mutually assured destruction. Any conventional invasion large enough to threaten American territory would likely escalate to nuclear conflict long before achieving its objectives. This reality fundamentally changes the calculus for any potential adversary that is thinking about invading America. So, to return to our original question, what would it really take to invade the United States? The answer to that question reveals why no serious military strategist considers a conventional invasion of America a viable option. It simply just wouldn't be worth it. But what do you think? Where do you think America stacks up in terms of national defense? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below.
yeah, it pretty much says it all. It just wouldn't be worth
Yeah,
it.
don't try
Common
it.
sense tells you, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Give it a go and F around and find out what
Yeah,
it would be, wouldn't
I'd
it?
be surprised. You'd have to start nuclear war, wouldn't you?
It'd be an
You just
absolute
have
mess.
to.
Even then, the stacks. USA is stacked.
I know,
Yeah.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
But the good point is going about the cost, which is a reality. And, you know, even for the US, trillions of dollars, it's no small change, is it? And for some of these other countries, there's just no way to have the money to do it.
No, not at all.
I think the only way you can infiltrate the USA, in my opinion, is like say disable the economy and disable everything. It's just
from
go in
within.
there and just like go within and get everyone turning against each other.
Yeah.
And then so like go in as a takeover on a political sort of like level rather than a
Make him go for a
military
coup,
one.
and then
Something
jump
like that.
in,
Yeah. It's the only way, and even that wouldn't work.
Yeah, probably
There's
not.
there's nothing you can think of that you go, yeah, that if anyone's thinking about it, imagine.
Yeah.
You know,
Everyone
sure,
watching
but-
this, he's thinking about it.
Yeah.
We don't want you to do it.
I'm Mr. President, I've got a plan. Really?
that country over there, and he'd be like, no,
Big one.
forget it, mate, forget it, yeah, forget it, Adolf, it's not going to work.
Oh, gee.
Everyone checked on Austria recently. I mean, nuts.
Yeah, good though, right? Interesting.
Yeah, very
So
good.
it's always one of the
Yeah.
topics because it's the giant, and it's the giant of the world.
It's just like, it's
know.
not even that, it's just war in general. It's like, would people actually do it? You go, not to a nuclear level, because it just ends it all.
I mean, people must look at other countries, even when the US has invaded other countries or Russia in Ukraine, and you're looking how long it's taken them, how long they've been able to fight for, and you talk about them going into America and taking it over. I mean, they must look at certain ones like Russia and Ukraine and think, well, if they can't take Ukraine, then
exactly.
It's probably only China that's got any kind of fighting chance. I would say they're the only country that's potentially got like any kind of like stature about them that they could stand up to the USA. But even there,
that's pure size. Then
it's what it comes down to is volume more than anything. I just it's never going to happen, is it?
No,
not in our lifetime anyway.
No.
It'd be a fool's errand. That's what it'll be.
Yeah, but interesting.
Yeah.
Hope you guys enjoyed it as well. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll see you on the next one.
Cheers.